evening's touches. Allow me to present your new Grand Duchess. Should your faith, you'll graciously excuse her and kindly recollect, I didn't choose her. At the outset I may mention it's my sovereign intention to revive the classic memories of Athens at its best. For the company possesses all the necessary dresses, and a course of quiet cramming will supply us with the rest. We've acquired a poematic that is ballet operatic, will respond to the corrupti of that cultivated age, and our clever chorus master of it captures Criticaster would accept as the Corregus of the early Attic stage. They wore little underclothing, scarcely anything or nothing, and their dress of Cohen silk was quite transparent in design, and in fact in summer weather something like the altogether, and it's there I rather fancy I shall have to draw the line. At this junction I may mention that my erudition sham is but classical pretension, the result of steady cram, yet my classic lore aggressive, if you'll pardon the possessive, is exceedingly impressive when you're passing an exam.
Yes, it's classic lore aggressive, if you'll pardon the possessive, is exceedingly impressive when you're passing an exam.
For when an obscure comedian whom the law backs to sovereign rank is promptly elevated, he takes it with its incidental drawbacks. So Julia and I are duly mated.
Take care of him, he's much too good to live. With him you must be very gentle. Poor fellow, he's so highly sensitive and oh so sentimental. Be sure you never let him sit up late in chilly open air conversing. Poor darling, he's extremely delicate and wants a deal of nursing.
I want a deal of nursing.
And oh, remember this, when he is cross with pain, a flower and a kiss, a simple flower, a tender kiss, will bring him round again. His moods you must assiduously watch when he succumbs to sorrow tragic. Some hard bake or a bit of butterscotch will work on him like magic. To contradict a character so rigid, trusting love were simple blindness. He's one of those exalted natures which will only yield to kindness.
I only yield to kindness.
And all the bygone bliss, and all the present pain, that flower and that kiss, that simple flower, that tender kiss, I ne'er shall give again.
But now that everybody has gone and we're happily and comfortably married, I want to have a few words with my newborn husband.
Yes, I expect you'll often have a few words with your newborn husband. Well, what is it?
Why, I've been thinking that as you and I have to play our parts for life, it is most essential that we should come to a definite understanding as to how they shall be rendered. Now, I've been considering how I can make the most of the Grand Duchess.
Oh, have you? Well, if you'll take my advice, you'll make a very fine part of it.
Why, that's quite my idea.
I shouldn't make it one of your hoity-toity, vixenish viragos.
You think not?
Oh, I'm quite clear about that. I should make her a tender, gentle, submissive, affectionate, but not too affectionate child wife. Timidly anxious to coil herself into her husband's heart, but kept in check by an awestruck reverence for his exalted intellectual qualities and his majestic personal appearance.
That is your idea of a good part?
Yes. A wife who regards her husband's slightest wish as an inflexible law, and who would venture but rarely into his august presence unless, which would happen seldom, he should summon her to appear before him. A crushed, despairing Violet, whose lonely existence would culminate, all too soon, in a pathetic death scene. Oh, it's a fine part, my dear.
Yes. There's a good deal to be said for your view of it. Now, there are some actresses whom it would fit like a glove.
Wish I'd married one of them.
But, you see, I must consider my temperament. For instance, my temperament would demand some strong scenes of justifiable jealousy.
Oh, there's no difficulty about that. You shall have them.
With a lovely but detested rival,
Oh, I'll provide the rival.
whom I should stab.
Oh, I wouldn't stab her. It's been done to death. I would treat her with a lonely and contemptuous disdain, and delicately withdraw from a position which, to one of your sensitive nature, would be absolutely untenable. Dear me, I can see you delicately withdrawing. Up center, up left, splendid. Come on.
Can you?
Yes, it is a fine situation, and in your hands full of quiet pathos. Now, Julia, come consider it from this dainty point of view. A timid, tender, feminine gender prompt to coyly coo. Yet silent seeking, seldom speaking till she's spoken to. Ah, comfy, cozy, rosy-posy, innocent ingenue. The part you're suited to give the deuce his due. Oh, sweet, oh, Jiminy, Miminy, Piminy, innocent ingenue.
I'm much obliged to you. I don't think that will do.
Oh, sweet, oh, Jiminy, Miminy, Piminy, innocent ingenue.
You forget my special magic in a high dramatic sense lies in situations tragic, undeniably intense. As I justify promotion in the histrionic art, I'll submit to you my notion of a first-rate part.
Well, let us see your notion of a first-rate part.
My heart stands still, with horror chill, hard as the millstone nether. Then, softly, slyly, snaily, snaky, crawly, creepy, quaily, I track her on her homeward way, as panther tracks her fated prey. I fly at her soft white throat. The lily white
bright laughing Lehman. On her agonized gaze I gloat, with the glee of a dancing demon. My rival she, I have no doubt of her. So I hold on till the breath is out of her. Till the breath is out of her. And then, remorse, remorse, oh cold, unpleasant course. Avaunt, avaunt, that lifeless form I gaze upon, that face still warm yet weirdly worn, those eyes of glass I contemplate, and then alas, too late, I find she is your aunt, and mad, with fancies wild, chimerical, now sorrowful, silent, sad, now hullabaloo hysterical. But whether I'm sad or whether I'm glad, mad, 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 mad. This calls for the resources of a high-class art and satisfies my notion of a first-rate heart.
And satisfies her notion of a first-rate heart.
Your Highness, there's a party at the door. Your Highness, at the door there is a party. She says that we expect her, but we do not recollect her, for we never saw her countenance before. With rage and indignation she is rife, because our welcome wasn't very hearty. She's as sulky as a super, and she's swearing like a trooper. Oh, you never heard such language in your life. You never heard such language in your life.
With fury indescribable I burn, with rage I'm nearly ready to explode. There'll be grief and tribulation when I learn to whom this life bearable is owed. For whatever may be due, I'll pay it double. There'll be terror indescribable and trouble with the hurly-burly and the hubble-bubble. I'll pay you for this pretty episode.
For whatever may be due, she'll pay it double. It's very good of her to take the trouble, but we don't know what she means by hubble bubble. No doubt it's an expression a la mode.
Do you know who I am?
I don't, your countenance I can't fix, my dear.
This proves I'm not a sham.
It won't, it only says Krackenfeld 6, my dear.
Express your grief profound.
I shan't, this tone I never allow, my love.
Rudolph at once produced.
I can't, he isn't at home just now, my love.
He isn't at home just now.
He isn't at home just now. He has an appointment particularly. You'll find him, I think, in the town cemetery, and that's how we come to be making so many. For he isn't at home just now. He isn't at home just now.
God bless my heart and soul alive, it's impudence personified. I've come here to be matrimonial and matrimonified.
For any disappointment I am sorry unaffectedly, but just today that nobleman expired quite unexpectedly.
Toll the riddle, oh, toll the riddle, oh, toll the riddle, oh, lo, lo, le. Toll the riddle, oh, toll the riddle, oh, toll the riddle, oh, lo, lo, le. Toll the riddle, oh, riddle, oh, riddle, oh, toll the riddle, oh, le. Toll the riddle, oh, riddle, oh, riddle, oh, toll the riddle, oh, le.
But this is most unexpected. He was well enough at 12:15 today.
Well, he died at 12:30.
Bless me, how very sudden.
Oh, it was sudden.
But what in the world am I to do? I was to have been married to him tonight.
For any disappointment we are sorry unaffectedly, but just today that nobleman expired quite unexpectedly. Toll the riddle, oh, toll the riddle, oh, toll the riddle, oh, lo, lo, le. Toll the riddle, oh, toll the riddle, oh, toll the riddle, oh, lo, lo, le. Toll the riddle, oh, riddle, oh, riddle, oh, toll the riddle, oh, le. Toll the riddle, oh, riddle, oh, riddle, oh, toll the riddle, oh, le.
Is this court mourning or a fancy ball?
Well, it's a delicate combination. is intended to express inconsolable grief for the decease of the late Duke, and ebullient joy at the accession of his successor. I am his successor. Permit me to present to you my Grand Duchess.
Your Grand Duchess? Oh, Your Highness.
Old frump.
A recent creation, probably?
We were married only half an hour ago.
Exactly. I thought she seemed new to the position.
Ma'am, I don't know who you are, but I flatter myself I can do justice to any part at the very shortest notice.
My dear, under the circumstances, you are doing admirably, and you will improve with practice. It's so difficult to be a lady when one isn't born to it.
Am I to stand this? Am I not to be allowed to pull her to pieces?
No, it isn't Greek. Be a violet, I beg.
And now tell me about this distressing circumstance. How did the Grand Duke die?
He perished nobly in a statutory duel.
In a statutory duel? But that's only a civil death, and the act expires at midnight, and then he will come to life again. Oh!
No. Anxious to inaugurate my reign by conferring some inestimable boon upon my people, I signalize this occasion by reviving the law for another 100 years!
For another 100 years?
Yes, ma'am.
Am I to understand that you, having taken upon yourself all Rudolph's responsibilities, will occupy the Grand Ducal throne for the ensuing century?
If I live that long.
Well, then set the merry joy bells ringing. Let festive epithymalia resound through these ancient halls. Cut the satisfying sandwich, broach the exhilarating marsala, and let us rejoice today if we never rejoice again.
I don't think I quite understand, you see. We have already rejoiced a good deal.
Happy man, you little reckon the extent of the good things you are in for. When you killed Rudolph, you adopted all of his overwhelming responsibilities. Know then that I, Caroline von Krakenfeld, am the most overwhelming of them all.
Stop. I have just been married to somebody else.
Yes, ma'am. To somebody else, ma'am. Do you understand, ma'am? To somebody else.
Do keep this young woman quiet. She fidgets me.
Fidgets you!
Be a violet, I beg.
Ah!
A crushed, despairing violet.
Do you suppose I intend to give up a magnificent part without a struggle?
My good girl, she has the law on her side. Let us both bear this calamity with resignation. And if you must struggle, go away and struggle in the seclusion of your own chamber.
Now away to the wedding we go, so that some of the charioteers no kind of reluctance we show to embark on our married careers. Though Julia's emotion may fall in the form of impetuous tears, to her wedding we eagerly go, so summon the charioteers.
To a wedding we eagerly go, so summon the charioteers.
use. I can't wait any longer. At any risk, I must gratify my urgent desire to know what's going on! Why, what's that? I see, Shirley, a wedding procession winding down the hill in my Troilus and Cressida costumes. That's Ludwig's doing. I see how it is. He's found time hanging heavy on his hands, and he's amusing himself by getting married to Lisa. But it can't be Lisa, for here she is.
I simply cannot stand seeing my Ludwig married twice in one day to somebody else.
Lisa, come here. Don't be a little fool. I want you. Now, what's wrong with that little donkey? One would think that she saw a ghost. But if he's not marrying Lisa, whom is he marrying? Julia! Oh, I see it now. He has shabbily adapted all my responsibilities and taken advantage of the situation by getting married to the girl I'm engaged to. But it can't be Julia, for here she is.
I've made up my mind. I won't stand it. I'll send in my notice at once.
Oh, Julia, what relief. You've not married Ludwig. You're still true to me. Don't run away. Wait a minute. Are you all crazy?
What would you with me, Spectre? Oh, ain't his eyes sepulchral, and ain't his voice hollow? What are you doing out of your tomb at this time of day, apparition?
I wish I could make you girls understand that I'm only technically dead, and that, physically I'm as alive as ever I was in my life.
Oh, but it's an awful thing to be haunted by a technical ghost.
You won't be haunted much longer. The law must be on its last legs, and in a few hours I shall come to life again and resume all my social and civic functions, and claim my darling as my blushing bride.
Oh, then you haven't had.
My love, I've heard nothing. How could I? There are no daily papers where I come from.
Well, Ludwig challenged Rudolph and won, and now he's Grand Duke, and he's revived the law for another century.
What? You're not serious. You're only joking.
My good sir, I'm a light-hearted girl, but I don't tease the undead.
Why, that's the meanest dodge I've ever heard of.
Shabby trick, I call it.
You don't mean to say that you're going to cry off?
I really can't afford to wait until your time is up. You know I don't believe in long engagements.
Then defy the law and marry me at once. We'll fly to your native country, and I'll play broken English in London as you play broken German here.
No, these legal technicalities cannot be defied. Situated as you are, you have no power to make me your wife. At best, you can only make me your widow.
Then be my widow, my little, dainty, winning, winsome widow.
Now, what would be the good of that? Why, you goose, I should marry again within a month.
If the light of love's lingering ember has faded in gloom, you cannot neglect or remember a voice from the tomb. That stern supernatural diction should act as a solemn restriction, although by a mere legal fiction, a voice from the tomb, a voice from the tomb.
I own that utterance chills me, it withers my bloom. With awful emotion it thrills me, that voice from the tomb. Oh, spectre, won't anything lay thee, no pain to deny or gainsay thee. In this case I cannot obey thee. The voice from the tomb, the voice from the tomb.
A voice from the tomb, from the
Spectre appalling, I bid you good day. Perhaps you'll be calling when passing this way. You're mooning and scorning and all your love learning. I bid you good morning, I bid you good day. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good day. Oh, so spectre appalling, I bid
morning, night and
Spirit
day.
of calling, I bid you good day.
To pains morning, I give you fair warning.
Calling and calling and calling, I bid you good morning, I bid
Night
you
and
good
each
day.
day, each morning, each morning, each morning, each morning, I hold you each night and each day, I hold you each night and day.
Come bumpers, I ever so many, and then if you will, many more. This wine doesn't cost us a penny, though it's Palmery, Palmery 74. Old wine is a true panacea for every conceivable ill. When you cherish the soothing idea that somebody else pays the bill. Old wine is a pleasure that's hollow when at your own table you sit. For your thinking each mouthful you swallow has cost you a threepenny bit. So bumpers I ever so many, and then if you will, many more. This wine doesn't cost us a penny, though it's Palmery 74.
So bumpers I ever so many, and then if you will, many more. This wine doesn't cost us a penny, though it's Palmery 74.
I once gave an evening party, a sandwich and cut orange bomb. But my guests had such appetites hearty that I couldn't enjoy it at all. I made a heroic endeavor to look unconcerned, but in vain. And I vowed that I never, oh never would ask anybody again. But there's a distinction decided, a difference truly immense, when the wine that you drink is provided at somebody else's expense. So bumpers I ever so many, the cost we may safely ignore, for the wine doesn't cost us a penny, though it's Palmery 74.
So bumpers I ever so many, the cost we may safely ignore. This wine doesn't cost us a penny, though it's Palmery
74. Why, who is this approaching? Upon our joy encroaching? Some rascal come approaching, who's heard that wine we're broaching?
Who may this be?
Who may this be?
Who may this be?
Who may this be?
Who is he?
Who is he?
Who is he?
The Prince of Monte Carlo from Mediterranean water has come here to bestow on you his beautiful daughter. They paid a for they owe, has every statesman utter, that Prince of Monte Carlo and his beautiful daughter.
The Prince of Monte Carlo
From Mediterranean water
has come here to bestow
on you his beautiful
daughter. They paid off all they owe.
has every statesman utter, that Prince of Monte Carlo.
And his beautiful daughter.
The Prince of Monte Carlo, who is so very particular, has heard that you're a so for ceremony a stickler. Therefore he lets you know, by word of mouth or recla, that Prince of Monte Carlo, who is so very particular, that Prince of Monte Carlo,
From Mediterranean water,
has come here to bestow on you
his beautiful daughter.
They paid off all they owe.
As every statesman oughta,
That Prince of Monte Carlo
and his beautiful daughter.
his beautiful daughter. The Prince of Monte Carlo, he lets you know he's here to bestow his beautiful daughter.
His Highness we know not, nor the locality in which is situate his principality. But as he guesses by some odd fatality, this is the shop for cut and dried formality. Let him appear. He'll find that we're remarkable for cut and dried formality. I have a plan. I'll tell you all the plot of it. He wants formality, ye shall have a lot of it. Conceal yourselves, and when I give the cue, spring out on him. You all know what to do.
We'll rigged out in magnificent array. Our own clothes are much gloomier, and costumes which we've hired by the day, by a very well-known costumier. I am a very well-known costumier.
With the brilliance of a print should make a show. It's a rule that never varies, so we've engaged from the theater Monaco 6 supernumeraries.
We're the supernumeraries. At a salary immense, quite regardless of expense. 6 supernumeraries. 6 supernumeraries.
They do not speak, for they break our grammar's laws, and the language is lamentable, and they never take off their gloves because their nails are not presentable.
Our nails are not
To
presentable.
account for these shortcomings many face, we explain in whisper baited. They're wealthy members of the brewing interrace. To the peerage elevated.
To the peerage elevated. We are very, very rich, and accordingly assist to the peerage elevated.
my dear, here we are at last, just in time to compel Duke Rudolph to fulfill the terms of his marriage contract. Another hour, and we should have been too late.
Yes, Papa. And if you hadn't fortunately discovered a means of making income by honest industry, we should never have got here at all.
Very true. Confined for the last 2 years within the precincts of my palace by an obdurate bootmaker who held a warrant for my arrest, I devoted my enforced leisure to a study of the doctrine of chances, mainly with a view of ascertaining whether there was the remotest chance of my ever going out for a walk again. And this led to the discovery of a singularly fascinating little round game, which I have called roulette.
Roulette?
Roulette.
Ah, roulette.
I know what I said. And by which, in one sitting, I won no less than 5,000 francs. My first act was to pay my bootmaker. My second, to engage a good, useful working set of second-hand nobles. And my third, to hurry you off to Pfennig on Pfennig as fast as a train deluxe could carry us.
Yes, and a pretty job lot of second-hand nobles you've scraped together.
Pretty, you think? I don't know. I should say tolol, my love, only tolol. They are not wholly satisfactory. There is a certain air of unreality about them. They are not convincing.
Oh, but, my good friend, what do you expect for 18 pence a day?
Oh. Now, take this beer, for instance. What the deuce do you call him?
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 Oh, him! He's a swell. He's the Duke of Riviera.
Oh, he's a duke, is he? Well, there's no reason why he should look so confoundedly haughty. Be affable, sir. That's better. Oh, now, here's a nobleman's coat, all in holes.
Oh. What a garish chap you are. Why don't we should take care of the clothes? These cost money, these do. Do you think I stole them?
Oh, it's not the poor devil's fault. It's yours. I don't wish you to end our house of tears, but you might at least mend them. Now, who's this with his mustache coming off?
Why, you're Viscount Menton, aren't you?
La Stefano.
It's wrote here, yes. Viscount Mentone. Then Viscount, don't you say so. Hold yourself up. You are carrying sandwich boards now.
Sandwich board! And may we be permitted to enter the noble Viscount in the most delicate manner imaginable, that it is not the practice among the higher nobility to carry their handkerchiefs in their hats.
Ah, it got no pockets!
As in, then stick it in ear.
In ear?
In ear.
Oh, in here.
Now, once and for all, you peers, when His Highness arrives, don't stand like sticks, but appear to take an intelligent and sympathetic interest in what is going on. No, you needn't say anything, but let your gestures be in accordance with the spirit of the conversation. Oh, now, I take the word from me. Affability. Submission. Surprise! Shame. Grief. Joy. That's better. You can do it if you like.
But Papa, where in the world is the court? There's positively no one here to receive us.
Well, ma petite, you must remember that we have taken Duke Rudolph somewhat by surprise. These small German potentates are famous for their scrupulous adherence to ceremonial observances, and it may be that the etiquette of this court demands that we should be received with a certain amount of processional pomp, which Rudolph may at this moment be preparing.
I can't help feeling that he wants to get out of it. First of all, you implored him to come to Monte Carlo and marry me there, and he refused on account of the expense. And then you implored him to advance us the money to enable us to go to him, and again he refused on account of the expense. He's a miserly little wretch.
I should rather describe him as an enthusiastic collector of coins of the realm. And we must not be too hard upon a numismatist if he feels a certain disinclination to part with some of his really very valuable specimens. It's a pretty hobby. I've often thought I should like to collect a few coins myself.
Papa, I'm sure there's someone behind that curtain. I saw it move.
Then no doubt they are coming. Now, mind you, peers, oddity of ability, combined with a sense of what is due your exalted ranks, or I'll fine you half a franc each. Oh, upon my soul, I will.
What did you think of that? That was our official ceremonial for the reception of visitors of the very highest distinction.
It's very great. Very curious. Hey, prettily footed too, prettily footed.
Would you like to see how we say goodbye to our visitors of distinction? That ceremony is also performed with the foot.
Oh, really, this tone. But perhaps you have not completely grasped the situation.
Not altogether, no.
Then I'll give you a clue. I am the father of the Princess of Monte Carlo. Doesn't that convey any idea to the Grand Ducal mind?
Nothing definite.
Very odd. Never mind. Try again. This is the daughter of the Prince of Monte Carlo. Do you see?
No, not yet, no. But don't give up. I dare say it will come presently.
Very odd. Never mind. Try again. 20 years ago, little Doddle, two little Doddles, happy father, hers and yours, proud mother, yours and hers. Oh, now you take, I see you do.
Nothing is more annoying than to feel one is not equal to the intellectual pressure of a conversation. I do wish he'd say something intelligible.
You didn't expect me?
No. No, I grasped that! Oh, thank you so much. I did not expect you.
I thought not. But at last, I have escaped from my enforced restraint.
Oh!
No, you misunderstand me. I've paid my debts. And how do you think I did it, eh? Through the ingenious medium of roulette. Oh, never mind.
Now you're getting obscure again. The lucid interval has expired.
Then I'll explain. It's an invention of my own. It's the simplest thing in the world. And what is more, it comes just in time to fill a distinct and long-felt need. I'll tell you all about it. Take my advice when deep in debt. Set up a bank and play roulette. At once distrust you surely lull, and box a page in Ansicle. The bird will stake his every franc in wild attempt to break the bank. But you may stake your life and limbs, the bank will end by breaking him. Allons ancora, cosa fietta, voluitora, volucciarette. Hola, 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 hola. Mais faites vos jeux, allons la classe, le temps se passe, le banc se casse. Rien ne va plus. Le 17 mois, ampere et banque. Hola, hola, vive la banque. For every time the board you spin, the bank is bound to win.
For every time the board you spin, the bank is bound to win.
A cosmic game is this roulette. The little balls are true coquette. A maiden boy whom numbers move from 6 and 30 suitors you. Of all complexions to good luck. For some are red and some are black. And some must be extremely green, for half of them are not 19. Allons ancora, cosa fietta, voluitora, volucciarette. Hola, 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 hola. Mais faites vos jeux, allons la foule, le sorrow se roule, le temps s'écoule. Rien ne va plus. Mettre sa couche, diffère et passe. C'est bien étudiant de la classe. Tomorrow safe, when you begin, the bank is bound to win.
Tomorrow safe, when you begin, the bank is bound to win.
The little balls are flirting bread. She flirts with black, she flirts with red. From this to that she hops about, and that to this as if in doubt. To call her thoughtless were unkind. The child is making up her mind. For all the world, like all the rest, which breath or though will pay the best. Allons ancora, casa fietta, voluitora, volucciarette. Hola, 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 hola. Mais faites vos jeux, qui pète fille, autant joli, gagne aujourd'hui. Rien ne va plus. Tra-la-la-la, les double zéro. Vous perdez tout mais no bolero. Where'er at last the ball pops in, the bank is bound to win.
Wherever at last the ball pops in, the bank is bound to win.
Capital game. Haven't a penny left.
Pretty toy, isn't it? Have another turn?
Oh, no, thanks. I should only be robbing you.
Oh, do, dearest. It's such fun.
Why, you forward little hussy. How dare you?
You must never do that, my dear. Never in the presence of the Grand Duchess, I beg.
Oh, Papa, he's got the Grand Duchess.
A Grand Duchess. Oh, my good girl. I have 3 Grand Duchesses.
3 Grand Duchesses. But let us understand each other. Am I not addressing the Grand Duke Rudolph?
Not at all. You're addressing another sort of Grand Duke altogether.
This comes of not asking the way. We've mistaken the turning and gotten to the wrong Grand Duchy.
But let us know where we are. Who the deuce is this?
I married him this morning.
I married him this afternoon.
I married him this evening.
Well, I'm sure. Papa, let's go away. This is not a respectable court.
All these Grand Dukes have their little fancies, my love. This potentate appears to be collecting wives. It's a pretty hobby. I've often thought I should like to collect a few myself. This is a charming specimen. An antique, I should say. Of the early Merovingian period, if I'm not mistaken. And here's another one.
Gott in Himmel!
A Scotch lady, I think. And a little one thrown in.
Oh!
2 half-quarterns and a make-weight. Have you such a thing as a catalogue of the museum?
But this is getting serious. If this is not Rudolph, the question is, where in the world is he?
No, the question is, where out of the world is he? That's a very curious question, too.
What do you mean?
The Grand Duke Rudolph died this afternoon. What? Quite suddenly of a cardiac affection.
Of a cardiac affection.
Yes, a pack of a cardiac affection. He fought a statutory duel with me, and he lost. And I took over all his engagements, including this imperfectly preserved old lady, to whom he has been engaged for the last 3 weeks.
3 weeks? But I've been engaged to him for the last 20 years.
20 years?
It's all right, my loves. They can't get over that. Take him and hold him as tight as you can.
Oh, my
Oh, no. And here's another one. Anyone else out there want to marry me too? You, Brett? How you doing? I'm getting used to it. Oh.
But let me tell you, man.
Why, you idiot little hussy! Oh, here's another.
Poor ladies, I'm very sorry, but you see, I've a prior claim. Come, away we go. There's not a moment to be lost.
Hurrah, 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 hurrah! Now away to the ready we go, so summon the charioteers. We'll find every lunch to be sure to embark on a merry career.
Frustrated are your plans with paramount decree. The law forbids the bans. The law forbids the bans. The law forbids the bans. Well, you're a pretty kind of friend, oh, thus my life to shatter, oh, my dainty bride, my bride-elect, you wheedle and you flatter, oh, you fascinate a tough old heart with vile and vulgar patter, oh, and eat my food and drink my wine, especially the latter, oh. The latter, oh, especially the latter, oh, the latter, oh, especially the latter, oh. But when compared with other crimes for which your head a batter, oh, this liberty-gibbety kind of a liberty's quite another matter, oh. But when compared to other crimes for which your head's a batter, oh, this liberty-gibbety kind of a liberty's less than seems to matter, oh. For oh, you vulgar vagabond, you font of idle chatter, oh, you've done a deed on which I vow you won't get any fatter, oh, you fancy you've revived the law, mere empty brag and chatter, oh, you can't, you shan't, you don't, you won't, you think of brag and chatter, oh. A chatter, oh, you think of brag and chatter, oh, a chatter, oh, you think of brag and chatter, oh. For this you'll suffer agonies like rat and clutch of blatter, oh, this liberty-gibbety kind of a liberty's quite another matter, oh. For this you'll suffer agonies like rat and clutch of blatter, oh, this liberty-gibbety kind of a liberty's quite another matter, oh.
My good sir, it is of no use you are saying that I cannot revive the law, in face of the fact that I already have revived it.
You didn't revive it. You couldn't revive it. You are an imposter, sir. A tuppenny rogue, sir. You never were, and in all human probability never will be, Grand Duke of Benwick anything.
What?
Never, never, never. Oh, my internal economy.
This is just absurd. I fought the Grand Duke. He drew a king and I drew an ace. He perished in inconceivable agonies on the spot. Well, that's finally settled and we will go on with our wedding.
It isn't settled. It can't be. You can't. You tell him. I can't. Well, the fact is, there's been a little mistake here. On reference to the act that regulates statutory duels, I find it expressly laid down that the S shall count invariably as lowest.
As lowest?
As lowest. So you're the goest. Oh, what is the matter with me inside here? Well, Julia, as it seems the law has not been revived, and as consequently I shall come to life again in about 3 minutes.
My objection falls to the ground. Very well, but will you promise to give me some strong scenes of justifiable jealousy?
Justifiable jealousy? I can't do that.
This I won't play.
Oh, well, I'll do my best.
Wait. Am I to understand that all this time I've been a dead man without knowing it?
And that I married a dead man without knowing it? Oh!
And that I was on the point of marrying a dead man without knowing it? Oh, my love. What a narrow escape I've had.
Why, you're the Princess of Monte Carlo. You've turned up just in time. Well, you're an attractive little girl, you know. But you're as poor as a rat.
A rat?
A rat.
A rat? Pardon me, sir, you mistake. Accept a dowry with a father's blessing.
Why, what do you call this?
It's my little wheel of fortune. I'll tell you all about it.
Well, that's all very well, but what's to become of me? If you're a dead man,
But I'm not! Time's up! The act has expired and I have come to life! The parson is still in attendance and we'll all be married directly!
Happy couples, happy wedding, happy couples, happy wedding, couple chapel will be rightful. He shall have a pretty wedding, he shall have a pretty wedding. Of course, is only rightful, but the right repair of rightful contradiction, little bit. This will be a day delightful, this will be a day delightful. Such a pretty wedding, such a pretty wedding, such a pretty wedding, such a pretty wedding, such a jolly, 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 jolly wedding. Happy couples, lively wedding. Castle chapel will be quite full. He shall have a pretty wedding, as of course is only rightful, rightful. Happy couples, he shall have, shall have, shall have a
Thank you.